Okay, so a quick look at this question from the test. First of all, your answer is going to be a quadratic for A, so it's going to look like this, and your job is to find out A, B and C. Initially, straight away, we've got the y-intercept being 0, so when h equals 0, x is 0. That'll wipe out 3 of the 4 terms and give us our value for C as 0. So that's the first thing, recognising that there is no constant term here. Then what we can do is substitute in our other root. That's also going to give us a value of 0. And it's not actually enormously helpful, except that we can change b to something in terms of a. So b equals negative 40a. So once we've made that change, we've only got one unknown left to find. And we're going to do that by looking at the maximum point and by completing the square on the function as you see it. Now we need to factor out a in the first instance, complete the square, and then multiply a out in front of the square itself, and then times by the 20 squared to give us this form of h. Now we're told the maximum point, so we substitute in the value for h that we're given, and the bracketed term just disappears, so we're only left with minus 400a. And if we do that, a comes out to be negative. Now that makes complete sense if you think of the shape of this curve, and it's actually going to come out as negative 3 over 100, or 0.03, or negative 0.03. And if we write everything with a denominator of 100, this is the function that comes out, and that is the answer. Now, what I want you to acknowledge from this is that that was difficult. That really is. The function, the actual functional part of getting A, B, and C can be quite tricky. And you're using everything you possibly can. You're using roots, you're using maximum points, minimum points, and some orders work and some orders don't. So these kinds of questions you will conquer by practice, 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 and thinking, naturally. Okay, now we've found the equation for h from part A, we're going to be looking at part B. We've got a set of rugby posts that are 3 meters up in the air, and they're as far away as they can be. So it's not going to be that first solution that we're going to be after. It's going to be the second solution, the bigger of the 2 solutions. Okay, now that we have substituted in 3 for h and rearranged, we get a quadratic, and we've just got to solve it, and that will give us our distance, our x-coordinate to the goalposts. Completing the square is as good a method as any, and it actually gives us our answer in third form. And so we finish solving, and that's what we get. Remembering, of course, we want to take the biggest root, and the first root would be the negative, and the furthest one would be the positive. So we are after a positive between 20 and root 300. Comes out at 37.3 meters to 1 decimal place.